Hello and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let us begin with the previous day's question. Consider the following provisions related to the protection of tribal identities in India. 1. Fifth Schedule. 2. Article 371. 3. Article 25. 4. Article 26. How many of the above provide constitutional safeguards for the distinct customs and religious practices of scheduled tribes? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. Only 3. D. All 4. The correct answer is option D. Under Article 244, Clause 1 of the Constitution, the fifth schedule applies to the administration of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes in all states except Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Its primary aim is to protect tribal rights over land, habitat, and economy, preserve their customs and traditions, and promote socio-economic development. Article 371 provides special constitutional provisions for various states, mainly in the northeast, to protect tribal culture and ensure local autonomy. For example, Article 371 Clause A applies to Nagaland. Laws related to religion, customs, justice, and land ownership apply only if approved by the State Assembly. Article 25 ensures the right to profess, practice, and propagate one's faith. Article 26 guarantees the right to manage religious affairs. Hence, option D is the correct answer.
Welcome, SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way. With free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Moving on to the first question, consider the following statements. 1. He was born around the 15th century AD and was a contemporary of the Gajpati king Kapilendra Dev. 2. He was the first scholar to write in the Odia language. 3. He is best known for his three epics in Odia, the Mahabharata, Vilanka Ramayana, and Chandi Puran. Which of the following personalities best matches the above description? A. Ravidas. B. Adi Kavi Sarla Das. C. Kavi Samrat Upendra Bhanja. D. Madhusudan Das. The correct answer is option B. Adi Kavi Sarla Das, originator of Odia literature, was born around the 15th century AD. He was the first scholar to write in the Odia language. His early name was Siddheshwar Parida and he was a contemporary of the Gajpati king Kapilendra Dev. He wrote his epic poems at a religious establishment known as Muni Gusan. He is best known for his three epics in Odia, the Mahabharata, Vilanka Ramayana, and Chandi Puran. He also wrote the Lakshmi Narayan Vachanika. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 2. Consider the following statements. 1. The Supreme Court has held that in matrimonial disputes, secretly recorded conversations between spouses can be admissible as evidence despite privacy concerns. 2. The Indian Evidence Act 1872 provides absolute immunity to spousal communications from being used in court. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. The Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment, has ruled that secretly recorded conversations between spouses are admissible as evidence in matrimonial disputes, including divorce proceedings, if they aid in ensuring a fair trial. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Section 122 of the Indian Evidence Act provides qualified, not absolute, protection to spousal communication. It can be waived in specific cases like divorce or criminal proceedings. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 3. The negotiations for the Global Plastics Treaty were initiated under the resolution of which of the following international bodies? A. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. B. United Nations Environment Assembly. C. Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. D. Convention on Biological Diversity. The correct answer is option B. The Global Plastics Treaty is an international effort to address the global plastic pollution crisis, including marine litter and microplastics. In March 2022, during the fifth session of the United Nations Environment Assembly held in Nairobi, Kenya, a historic resolution was adopted to create an internationally legally binding treaty on plastic pollution. The proposed treaty will follow a comprehensive, full life cycle approach covering all stages of plastic from design and production to disposal and waste management. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 4. Which of the following initiatives are launched under the Skill India Mission? 1. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. 2. Jan Shikshan Sansthan Scheme. 3. Pradhan Mantri National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme. 4. Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1 and 4 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is option A. The Skill India mission is designed to skill, reskill and upskill India's youth by offering industry-relevant training through a vast network of centers and programs, addressing the increasing demand for employability, entrepreneurship and quality job opportunities. Key initiatives launched under the Skill India mission are Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. PMKVY aims to provide free, short-term, quality-assured skill training to enhance the employability of youth. Jan Shikshan Abhiyan Scheme (JSS) is a community-based vocational training program for non-literates, neo-literates, and school dropouts. Pradhan Mantri National Apprenticeship Training by providing 25% stipend support, direct benefit transfer for individuals aged 14 to 35 years. Introduced in the Union Budget 2018-19, Samagra Shiksha is a comprehensive program covering education from pre-nursery to class 12th to ensure equitable learning outcomes. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following statements. 1. The Supreme Court has held the right to peaceful living under Article 21 can override the right to religious expression if the latter causes public disturbance. 2. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981 includes noise as an air pollutant if present in harmful concentrations. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. The Supreme Court and several high courts, including the Madras High Court ruling 2025, have upheld that Article 21 of the Constitution, which guarantees the right to life and personal liberty, also includes the right to peaceful living. This right can override Article 25, freedom of religion, when religious practices such as loud prayers or use of loudspeakers cause public disturbance or noise pollution. The court has already stated that religious freedom does not include the right to create noise that disturbs others, especially in residential areas. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, under its definition of air pollutant, includes noise when it is present in concentrations that may be injurious to human beings, other living creatures, plants, property, or the environment. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 6. Consider the following pairs. We have cybercrime and execution techniques. 1. Digital arrests, impersonating authorities to extort money. 2. Ransomware, sending fake emails to trick users into revealing sensitive information. 3. Phishing, encrypting a victim's files and demanding payment for decryption. Which of the pairs given above is or are correctly matched? A. 1 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option A. Digital arrests refer to cybercriminals impersonating law enforcement or tax officials to intimidate and extort money from individuals under the guise of legal action. Hence, pair 1 is correctly matched. Ransomware does not involve sending fake emails. It is a malicious software that encrypts the victim's data and demands a ransom for decryption, often rendering entire system inoperable. Hence, pair 2 is incorrectly matched. Phishing is a social engineering attack that involves sending fraudulent emails or messages that appear to be from legitimate sources, tricking users into disclosing sensitive information such as passwords, OTPs, or banking credentials. Hence, pair 3 is incorrectly matched. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 7. India's first digital nomad village and the country's first organic fisheries cluster were recently announced in which of the following regions? A. Goa, B. Kerala, C. Sikkim, D. Meghalaya. The correct answer is option C. Both India's first digital nomad village and the country's first organic fisheries cluster have been established in Sikkim. Yaptain village in Pakyong district has been declared the first digital nomad village under the Nomad Sikkim initiative, aiming to promote sustainable tourism, remote work, and local entrepreneurship through high-speed internet, eco-friendly practices, and zero-waste management. Meanwhile, Soring district in Sikkim hosts the first organic fisheries cluster launched under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, focused on antibiotic and chemical-free fish production for global eco-conscious markets. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 8. A community of people called Maldharis is well known for their A. Practice of dryland farming in the Deccan Plateau, B. Traditional fishing techniques along the Coromandel coast, C. Silvipastoral lifestyle and livestock rearing in Gujarat's grasslands, D. Cultivation of spices in the Western Ghats. The correct answer is option C. The Maldharis are a semi-nomadic tribal herdsman community primarily inhabiting the Banni grasslands and the Gir forests of Gujarat. They are known for the silvipastoral lifestyle, combining animal husbandry with forest-based livelihoods and real livestock such as goats, sheep, cows, buffaloes, and camels. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 9. Consider the following statements regarding PM Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. 1. The scheme is inspired by Niti Aayog's Aspirational Districts program. 2. It targets 100 high-performing agricultural districts for further improvement. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option A. PM Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana is a comprehensive farm program designed to enhance productivity, promote sustainable practices, and improve livelihoods. It merges 36 schemes from 11 union ministries to create a unified agricultural support system. The scheme is inspired by Niti Aayog's Aspirational Districts program. Hence, statement 1 is correct. PMDDKY targets 100 underperforming districts to boost farm productivity through better irrigation, storage, and credit access while promoting sustainable practices. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 10. Regarding the Pradhan Mantri Virasat Ka Samvardhan scheme, consider the following statements. 1. The scheme is launched by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. 2. It aims to provide skill and entrepreneurship training to minority and artisan communities in India. 3. The scheme is integrated with the Skill India Mission and Skill India portal. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, D. None. The correct answer is option B. The Ministry of Minority Affairs launched a skill training and women entrepreneurship development project under the Pradhan Mantri Virasat Ka Samvardhan scheme. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Under this project, 150 youth candidates will be trained in Internet of Things and 300 women candidates will receive entrepreneurship training with stipends and industry linkages for employment opportunities. It is a skilling initiative from MOMA, focusing on the skilling, entrepreneurship, and leadership training requirements of the minority and artisan communities across the country. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The scheme is intended to be implemented in convergence with the Skill India mission and through integration with the Skill India portal. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Now, let us look at a practice question. Regarding the Election Commission of India, consider the following statements. 1. ECI is a permanent constitutional body established under Article 324 of the Constitution. 2. The Chief Election Commissioner enjoys the same status and privileges as the Supreme Court judge in terms of removal from office. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both 1 and 2, D. Neither 1 nor 2. Please provide your answers in the comment section.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.